Hi, how you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf. I'm trying to figure out what Daf we're studying today. Give me a second. We're studying Daf Yirches? I think so. Yep. Definitely studying Daf Yirches. Definitely studying Daf Yirches. Very much so. Friends, today we're studying Daf Yirches of Masechta BavaKama. Friends, let me tell you, Epis. Friends, what's the deal with BavaKama? You tell me. It's slow, BavaKama. It's slow. It's not fast. BavaKama is the big leagues. After almost 4 years, we're in the big leagues. And we've done some pretty big league stuff. This is the big leagues. It's slow. It takes a long time to learn, to review, to record. The concepts are like, oxen, and how did it step? Did it step like this? Did it step like that? Did it kick it up? What if it did? What if it didn't? Okay, all right, okay, but it, it's cool. It's not Yevamis. All right, we're going to start on Daf. So I say that the main discussion over here really is about Chatzi Nezek Tzroris. Or really Tzroris. It's Machlokas. We saw already yesterday, right? It's Machlokas between Sumchus and the Chachomim about is Tzroris Chatzi Nezek or Nezek Shalim. Tzroris, of course, is when you don't, the damage is not caused directly but indirectly. For example, if a ox is walking, Babylon. Don't worry. What time is it? It's 3:15 in the afternoon. 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm not tired. Don't worry. So I don't remember what I was talking about, but Tzroris, it doesn't cause the damage directly, but it kicks up a rock, and then the rock goes flying, and something breaks. So that's Tzroris. Okay, now we're going to start on Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. Starting Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis, about 5-10 lines from the bottom. Tanu Rabbanan, you got it good. Tanu Rabbanan, Tanagolim shoyu mechatatin bechevel dli, v'nifsak hachevel v'nishbar adli, misham nezek shalim. Chevel, did you hear the matzav? I don't know. So let's say you have a bucket, and the bucket is hanging by a rope to something. What's it hanging by a rope to? Something. I don't know. You have a mirpeset or something. And maybe on the mirpeset you have a balcony, and you have a rail around the balcony. Maybe you have some flower pots that are hanging by a rope, let's say, and your chicken comes and it starts pecking at the rope, and the rope breaks, and the flower pot goes flying, soaring like a spiral, like a beeline, it goes straight down, and then it breaks. So if the chickens were pecking at the rope, and the rope breaks, and then the bucket goes crashing down, and it breaks. So I guess the owner of the chicken, I guess, needs to pay for the full damages. Okay, fine. But Rava asks a kasha. Darsa al kli velo shibro. If an ox steps on a vessel, it's just walking and it steps on a vessel, and the vessel does not break. But what happens is, v'nizgalgul makom acher, and then it rolls to some other place, v'nishber, and then it breaks in the other place. So here's the thing. So initially it was kocho, right? It was direct action of the ox when it stepped on the vessel. But then it started rolling to some other place where it eventually broke, which is kocho. It's sort of the indirect activity. Right, the activity was stepping on the vessel, which that then caused it to go rolling some other place and break, which is what's called koach kocho, which is essentially No, that's not true. No. What am I talking about? What am I talking? Chevre, forget what I just said. No, it's gufo and kocho. We're gonna get to koach kocho soon. It's BavaKama. It's BavaKama. These things are important. So when the ox steps on the vessel, it's gufo, right? It's the body of the ox. It then goes rolling to some other place, which is kocho, meaning it's not gufo, it's not its body. If it stepped on the vessel and it broke, that would be gufo, that would be its body. But now it's kocho, sort of an indirect side effect, result of its stepping on it was that it then went and rolled to some other place and broke, which is tzroris. Okay, so where are we? So by Rava, asked the kasha, darsa al kli, if the animal stepped on a vessel, vilo shibarto, but it did not break. And then it rolls to some other place, vinishbar, and there it breaks. Mao, what's the halacha? Do we say that we go based on the initial sort of trigger, which is gufo, right? It stepped on the thing, in which case it would be nezek shalim. Gufehu, and it's gufo, right? He stepped on the vessel, and it would be nezek shalim, like regel. O dilma basar tavermona azlin, or maybe we go based on where the vessel broke, which was after it rolled some other place indirectly because of the kocho, not because of gufo, because of kocho, vitzroros, and then it's tzroros, and we should treat it as such. I think the assumption is that it would be chatzi nezek and not nezek shalim. So tifshot leimi de Rabba. So let's try to answer Rava's kasha about, do we say basar meikara azlinon, or do we say basar tavermono azlinon? Okay. Fine. Wait, let me see something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Vitzroros didn't fine. So Tivshal Lemi de Rabba. So let's try to answer Rava's quandary from Rabba. Dam Rabba that says Rabba Zorak Kli Merosh Hagag. If Ruvain throws a vessel off of the roof, so obviously the vessel is going to come crashing down to the ground and break. But before the vessel reached the ground and broke, Shimon comes with his baseball bat and he says, "Oh, batting practice," and he whacks the thing and shatters it to smithereens. Potter. Shimon is potter. Darminon lay, because we say Mana Tvira Tavar. Look, Shimon broke an already broken vessel, Be'etzim. It wasn't broken yet, but Reuven chucked it off the roof. It was about to break. So Be'etzim, the vessel that Shimon whacked to smithereens was a broken, it was about to be broken to smithereens anyways. So therefore Shimon is potter. Okay, fine. So what do we see? So I lost the place, of course. So therefore, clearly we go basar mei ikari. Right? We're saying Shimon is not to blame. It is Reuven. It's Reuven to blame. Basar mei ikari is name. Reuven is the one who chucked it off the roof. L'Rabba pshita l'Rava mibayale. To which the Gemara says, look, meaning Rava had asked the kasha, do we say basar mei ikari or basar tavermana? We said, well, why not just answer it from Rabba? To which the Gemara says, look, Rav is an Amora, Rabba is an Amora. Sure, Rabba might hold basar mei ikari azlinan. Rava is not so sure. Tashma, come in here. Hidus, when a chicken is dancing around. Eino muad, it is not muad. Veisham mareza muad. Those who are saying that a dancing chicken is muad. Hidus akadaitich, do you really think it means a dancing chicken? The problem isn't the dancing chicken. That's fine. The problem is the dancing chicken is be'etzim regel. And regel is nezek shalim. So what's the of course it's muad. So what's the shaila? So again, right? Tashma hidus eino muad. Hidus is not muad. A dancing chicken is not muad. V'yesh omim hidus muad hariz muad. Those say it is muad. Hidus sakadaitik. What you think it's really talking about? Hidus, obviously hidus is muad. Alav hidus v'hitis. Rather, it's talking about you have the chicken. He's dancing around the chicken, and then when it's dancing around, it kicks up a rock, and the rock causes damage. And let's say that the machlokas is to my server basu meikara as linon, that the manamar who says that it's muad, he says basu meikara, that initially it was gufo, right? It stepped on the rock, I guess, and therefore it's muad, it's nezek shalim. My server basu tavermona as linon, whereas the other manamar says no, basu tavermona, how it was broken, and in that case it's roris, and roris is chatzi nezek. Lo, nisht. Behitis Tzoris, no, it's talking about, no, it has nothing to do with Basur Meikare or Basur Tavermone. Rather, Behitis Tzoris, it's just talking about Tzoris, we flew to the Sumchis, Rabbanon Kamiflige. And Pashit, Machlokes between the Rabbanon and Sumchis. The Rabbanon say it's Chatzi Nezek, so it's Eino Mud. And Sumchis says Nezek Shalim, it is Mud. Fine. Toshma, come in here. Oh, so back to our original brisa that got us started on today's daf. Toshma chickens that were pecking away at the rope that was holding a that was by which was suspended a bucket. And the chicken is pecking away at the rope breaks, and the bucket goes crashing down. V'nishbar adlin, it breaks when it crashes down. Misham nezek shalim. So we say nezek shalim. Now, if we say basar tavar mana, then that should be tzroris, and it should be chatzi nezek. But we're saying it's nezek shalim, so we want to say that should be based on the chevel, based on the rope, basur meikara, based on the chicken pecking the rope, and that's gufo. All right. So shma, where am I? V'nishbar adli misham nezek shalim. So shma mina basur meikara as linon. So we see it goes based on the initial activity. Tirguma achevel, to which we say no. We're saying that when you chayiv nezek shalim for the rope, meaning the chicken pecked the rope, you chayiv nezek shalim. But v'achev mishunahu. But isn't that weird? Chickens don't usually peck ropes. They peck, I don't know, seeds, I guess. They peck like food, not ropes. And therefore, that's weird. And because it's weird, it should be chatzi nezek, not nezek shalim. Demos belisha, yeah, but it's talking about there was dough on the ropes, and I guess chickens peck dough. So it was pecking dough that was on the rope, and that's not weird, and then it broke. That's why it's nezek shalim. Vanishbar adli katani, but it says that the vessel broke, meaning the focus is not on the rope, it's on the vessel. So ela sumchis he de omar tzroris nezek shalim mishalim. So we want to say, you know what, fine. The brisa is sumchis, meaning, yes, the chicken is pecking the rope. The rope broke, the bucket went flying, and then, broke into 1,000 pieces. So that's tzroris, right? Right. The bucket is tzroris. So, and why are we saying nezek shalim? Because this brisa is sumchis. Sumchis says that tzroris is nezek shalim. But sumchis, if this brisa is sumchis, ema seifa, but I'll say the seifa nitaz mimenu shever, that now, if so the chicken is pecking the rope breaks, the bucket goes flying, the bucket crashes down on earth and breaks into 1,000 pieces. One of those 1,000 pieces goes flying and breaks something else. Great. So now you have like a double tzroris situation, right? Meaning the pecking of the rope broke the rope, snapped the rope, which caused the bucket to break. That's tzroris number one, which then broke into 1,000 shards. One of those shards went and broke something else, which is tzroris number two. So again, so it says the Sefer Nitas Mimenu Shever. So if one of the 1,000 pieces goes flying, V'nafal al Kli Acher V'Shibro, and breaks the second Kli al Arishin Mishalim Nezek Shalim. So for the first vessels, for the bucket, Chayv Nezek Shalim, V'ala Achrin Mishalim Chatzi Nezek. However, the second tzroris situation is Chatzi Nezek, is half damages. V'Isumchis. And if we're saying that this brisa is sumchis, Mi isle chatzi nezek. Does Sumchis hold of chatzi nezek by tzroris? He holds nezek shalim by tzroris. V'chiteiman, if you're going to say yes, but shani le Sumchis bein, skip the word nezek, kocho l'koach kocho. You could say yeah, but look, Simchis makes a distinction between if it's kocho or koach kocho, right? Kocho would be tzroris, koach kocho would be double tzroris. So you could say that Sumchis says that, look, when the chicken snapped the rope and the bucket went flying and broke into 1,000 pieces, that's tzroris and that's nezek shalim. One of those pieces went flying and broke something else, that's koach kocho, that's chatzi nezek. But then, Veladaboy Ravashi, but Ravashi Taka asked that question. Koach kocho l'sumchis, ki kocho dami, or lavka kocho dami. Ravashi asked, that question. Punkt. He asked, what does Sumchis hold with regard to koach kocho, with double tzroris? Is it ki kocho dami? Is it the same as kocho, in which case it's nezek shalim? Or lavka kocho dami, or not, in which case it's chatzi nezek? So tivshot lei, why is Ravashi asking that kasha? If we're saying that this brisa is Sumchis, well then he should have his answer right in front of him. Tivshot lei, dilav ki kocho dami, that it is not kocho. Because we're saying if the chicken pecks the rope snaps, the bucket breaks, the bucket is nezek shalim, it then broke something else, that's chatzi nezek. So we see that koach kocho is not like kocho. So you have a brisa to answer Ravashi's question. Why was he asking the question? If there was a brisa, that answers his question. Ella, lav, rabbanani. Rather, it must be that the brisa is not Sumchis, it's the rabbis. Okay, so how do we explain it? And therefore we explain it by saying Basar meikare azlinon. That the answer is that we go based on the initial activity, right? The initial situation, which is that the chicken was pecking the rope, and the rope broke, and then the bucket broke. But we don't go based on the tzroris; we go based on the initial activity, and therefore it's nezek shalim. But Amar Bivi by Abaye dikazu mine says Rebbe by Abaye that actually this isn't actually a case of tzroris, and therefore we can't. This is not a situation where the chicken pecked the rope and then the rope broke and then the bucket went flying and the bucket broke. No, this is actually talking about a different situation. The chicken was kind of pushing the bucket the entire time. Therefore, it's not a situation of tzroris bichlal. It's simply not a situation of tzroros bichlal. The chicken was just pushing the thing the whole time, and that's why you chayav nezek shalim. So don't get so excited. Okay, so now we get to this kind of complicated sugya that I guess in some way it breaks into kind of another sugya. I guess it's kind of like the second to last sugya of the day. This is the main. This is the hard sugya, which is, I mean, we've already done quite a. We already had to use our brains already, but yeah, we're going to get into the main sugya now, I'd say. And then there's like one kind of more sugya that branches off of this. That'll take us to the end of the daf. Oh, Babylon. Alright, let's go weiter. Where are we? By Rave. So now Rave asks a kasha. Chatzi, nezek, tzroris, migufo mishalim, umealiyah mishalim. Okay. That's the kasha. Here we go. Rave asks a kasha. That when we say chatzi, nezek, tzroris, right? That, the rock goes flying and breaks something. So, the Chacham say that tzroris is chatzi nezek. So the shaila is that chatzi nezek migufo me aliyah, right? The last mission of the first parak was that the difference between a short tam and a short muad is that short tam is mishalim migufo. You pay like up to the value of the damaging ox, whereas short muad is me aliyah. You have to pay even if it's greater than the value of the ox that gored. You have to sell your house if you need to, whatever it is. So the shaila is, when we say chatzi nezek tzroris, so is chatzi nezek tzroris like chatzi nezek by a short tam, which is migufo mishalim, or is chatzi nezek tzroris like any other, basically it's more similar to regel, and regel is me aliyah, is muad, it's me aliyah. So frekti gemore. By Rav asks a kasha, chatzi nezek tzroris, when we're talking about chatzi nezek tzroris, is it miguf mishalim? Or me'aliyah mishalim, migufa mishalim. Do we say migufa mishalim to lo ashkechon chatzi nezek to mishalim me'aliyah? Because we don't have any other examples of chatzi nezek that is paid me'aliyah. What's the only other example of chatzi nezek that we have? Short tam. Short tam is migufa. Or dilma, or perhaps me'aliyah mishalim, that chatzi nezek tzorus is me'aliyah. Chatzi nezek tzorus is me'aliyah mishalim. Chatzi nezek tzorus is me'aliyah mishalim. To lo ashkechon ke'orche the mishalim migufe, because we don't have any other examples of something that is kind of a normal thing to happen, right? Chatzi nezek tzorus. The ox is walking not down the street, because right, that's Rishus Harabim. So he's walking in a chotzer anizak, and he's just walking, and something gets kicked up. So every other situation of kind of normal things, whether it's chain, whether it's regel, so those are me'aliyah. So therefore, chatzi nezek tzorus, which is just kind of a normal thing, would also be me'aliyah. So the shaila is chatzi nezek tzorus megufo mishalim or me'aliyah mishalim? Tashma, come in here. Hidus eino mud. So back to that Bryce of the dancing chicken, of the dancing chicken. Right, Tashma hidus eino mud v'yeshom marez mud. So we have a Bryce where it says that a dancing chicken is not mud, and there are those who say that it is mud. Hidus hagadaitich, to really think it's talking about simply a dancing chicken, that would just be regular. Of course it would be mud. Elalav hidus ve'ihitis. No, it's talking about it was dancing and then it kicked up a thing. So it's tzoris. Uvakam ifligay, and let's say that what it means is, so everybody agrees that tzoris is of course chatzi nezek mishalim. So what does it mean? Is it mud or is it eino mud? Well, eino mud would be migufa mishalim. Mud would be me'aliyah mishalim, because that's of course the big difference between tam and mud. So v'akamifligim the Omar eino mud. So if you say that by chatzi nezek tzoros eino mud, it means that migufa mishalim, because of migufa mishalim and the Omar mud. And if you say the chatzi nezek tzoros is mud, it means like a shor mud, that me'aliyah mishalim. Because of me'aliyah mishalim lo, we say nisht beplugte the sumchas v'rabbanon kamli filgei. No, the machlokas in that brisa is about sumchis and the rabbanon. That the shaila is by tzroris, is it muad that it's nezek shalim like sumchis, or is it eno muad that it's chatzi nezek like the rabbanon? Tashma, come in here. Hakelev, a hunt, a dog, a hunt. Shenota al charore. So you have a hunt, and it finds a biscuit, and the biscuit is being baked on coals, and the hunt takes the biscuit and it goes next to a v'holach ligodish, and goes next to a pile v'ochal acharore v'hidlik es agodish, and he ate the biscuit. But also while he ate the biscuit, apparently I guess there was a coal that was stuck to the biscuit, and he managed to also light the pile on fire. Okay, fine, all right, good job, hunt. So Omar. So ala charara mishalim nezek shalim. So for the biscuit, he's going to be chayiv nezek. The owner is going to be chayiv nezek shalim because it's shein. Vala godish, but for burning down the pile, that would be considered. We're assuming that would be considered tzroris, and mishalim chatzi nezek. It would be chatzi nezek for tzroris. What are we even talking about anymore? I think my brain's a little fried. What are we talking about again? Oh, okay, fine. So is chatzi nezek tzoros migufo mishalim or me'aliyah mishalim? Wow, my brain isn't fried, but it's like a little bit mush. You know, sometimes like when I'm like learning so much Gemara, like my brain just like kind of like is just like, all right, yo, dude, find yourself a different brain. Like I'm out. So I'm not like totally there yet, but I guess I've been like going through this for a little bit, and my brain's just like, yo, chill. But again, as I said, I'm not there yet. So anyway, so what were we saying though again? Chatzi nezek of tzoris is migufa mishalim or me'aliyah mishalim. So, and now we're saying that you have this hunt that took the biscuit, ate the biscuit, lit the pile on fire. And we're saying that is chatzi nezek tzoris, and then my time labmishum dahavilu tzoris. We want to say that the fire is tzoris v'tani Allah, and we teach about it. Mishalim, skip the next two words, migufo. That the payment of the chatzi nezek for the pile, which we're saying is chatzi nezek tzoris, is migufo. So there you have it. Chatzi nezek tzoris is migufo. But for Gemara v'tizbira, 1 second. Does that really make sense? The Rabbi Lazar add the words the Amr nezek shalem. The Rabbi Lazar's opinion is that for the pile, it's not chatzi nezek, it's nezek shalem. Nezek shalem migufo mi ashkechon. Where do we ever have a situation where nezek shalem would be migufo? So clearly something is funny over here, right? We want to say that the pile is chatzi nezek tzoris, and it's being paid migufo. So there you have it. Chatzi nezek tzoris is paid migufo. But the problem with that is that Rabbi Lazar says it's actually not chatzi nezek, it's nezek shalem. And then that no longer makes sense, though. Then that it would be migufo because nezek shalem is always mi'aliyah. So therefore, it goes back to the question of like, okay, something's weird here. So Ella, rather, what's going on here is kigon deshani behagacheles. It's talking about where something strange was going on here. Like, for example, the dog took the coal with its hand and put it on the pile. So in that case, it's mishuna karen. And then the machlokas between the Tanakam and Rabbi Lazar is that, well, mishuna karen b'chotzer hanizak, is that chatzi nezek or is it nezek shalim? But because we're talking about karen be'etzim, so therefore it would be, right, we're talking about mishuna karen, so therefore it would be migufo mishalim, right? Meaning chatzi nezek is migufo, and even chatzi nezek b'shus hanizak according to Reb Tarfon is nezek shalim, but it would still be migufo. So Rabbi Lazar saver la Reb Tarfon, and Rabbi Lazar holds like Reb Tarfon to Omar, who says mishuna karen b'chatzor nizak nezek shalim mishalim. So therefore, again, we're talking about where the hunt like took the coal with its hand and put it on the pile and burnt it up that way, and therefore it's mishuna, it's different. So therefore it's a situation of mishuna karen, right? That's like a short time be'etzim, and therefore the Chacham say that it's chatzi nezek, and that would be migufo. And Rabbi Lazar says that he holds like Reb Tarfon, who says that mishuna karen b'chatzor nizak nezek shalim with the mishalim, so therefore he pays nezek shalim, but still because it's basically from a short time, it's going to be migufo vilohi. To which the Gemara says, the whole reason why you said that it's talking about mishuna karen is because you had a problem with Rabbi Lazar saying that nezek shalim would be migufo, right? Meaning initially you wanted to say that it was a situation of chatzi nezek tzoris, right? That the hunt took the biscuit. The biscuit had a coal on it. The coal then lit the pile on fire. We're saying that's chatzi nezek. It's chatzi nezek tzoris, and we're saying mishalim migufo. We said, yeah, but we have a problem with that because Rabbi Lazar says that it's nezek shalim. How can nezek shalim be migufo? But my time of mukmas la Reb Tarfon, what was the impetus for saying that no, it's talking about mishuna karen, and Rabbi Lazar says like Reb Tarfon mishum nezek shalim, because we had a problem with saying that how could it be that Rabbi Lazar's opinion, which is nezek shalim, how could that be migufo? But Rabbi Lazar saver kisumchis domer tzoris nezek shalim mishalim v'saver la Reb Yehuda domer tzad tamus b'mkom ha'omedes v'chikatoni migufo atzad tamus baramp. Did you get that? Probably not. So the opinion of Rabbi Lazar is that he holds like sumchis, right? So let's read that again. Where am I? Rabbi Lazar holds sum kisumchis, that Rabbi Elazar holds like sumchis. That when it comes to chatzi nezek tzroris, he holds like sumchis. So it's not chatzi nezek, it's nezek shalim. Damar tzroris nezek shalim mishalim. He says that sumchis holds nezek shalim mishalim. Okay, so that's why Rabbi Elazar says that by the pile it would be nezek shalim. Now v'savar like Rabbi Yehuda, but he also holds like Rabbi Yehuda, the Amr tzad tamus b'mkoma omedis. The Rabbi Yehuda says tzad tamus b'mkoma omedis. What does that mean? It means that if you have a short tam, so short tam, of course, pays chatzi nezek, and chatzi nezek migufa. Now, once it does it 3 times, it becomes a shor muad, and then he pays nezek shalim mina aliyah. But Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that even once the shor is a shor muad, and you have to pay nezek shalim mina aliyah, still the first half of it still remains migufo. So basically, the first 50% of it would be chatzi nezek migufo, and then the remaining 100%, the rest of the full payment, that would be paid me aliyah. So v'chikatoni migufo atzad tamus, period. And therefore, when Rabbi Elazar says that when the hunt takes the coal and burns down the pile, we're saying that it's chatzi nezek. No, we're saying that it's tzroris, and Rabbi Elazar says it's nezek shalim, because he holds like sumchis that tzroris is nezek shalim, but still, the first half of the tzroris, the first half of the pile, would be migufa, and the remainder of it would be me'aliyah, and therefore, when the Brisa says that even according to Rabbi Elazar it's migufa, it's talking about the first half. Rav Samar Beit Rav Ashi the Ravina. That says of Samar Beit Rav Ashi to Ravina, Eimer de Shamasle, the Rabbi Yehuda, Bitam v'nai semur. But says Rav Samar Beit Rav Ashi to Ravina, says, I'll say that Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that when you have a short tam, that started out as a short tam, but it was naughty 3 times, and it became a shor muad, but up until then it was a short tam, and it was mishalim migufo, so then when it becomes a shor muad, still, tzad tamus b'mkoma omedes, even when you're paying the entire damages, still the first 50% remains migufo, just like when it was a short tam. But b'muad mitchilaso mishamasle, but would Rabbi Yehuda say when it's muad mitchilaso, such as by chatzi nezek tzroris, well, by tzroris, meaning if Rabbi Elazar holds like sumchus when it comes to tzroris, that it's nezek shalim, it's always nezek shalim. It's never chatzi nezek. It's always milichatchila. It's going to be nezek shalim. Tzroris are right. Are chayiv right? As we said, what was it yesterday? Right, the maker didn't surely be chayiv nezek shalim, but it's a halacha Moshe Misina that it's chatzi nezek according to Chacham. But it's right. It's like that from the beginning. So it says Rav Samar Beit Rav Ashi, I don't know that Rabbi Yehuda would say that in that case, that by tzroris, according to sumchis, where it's nezek shalim mishalim, that the first part would be migufa. And therefore, it's no good to say that the migufa, according to Rabbi Elazar, is only the tzad tamus, because there is no tzad tamus when it comes to tzoros. Eliki Kamar Rabbi Elazar, nezek shalim, rather when Rabbi Elazar says nezek shalim, kigon de iyaid. So rather what the case is talking about the following case, where it was with the shinui, right? The hun took the coal and put it on the pile and lit it up, destroyed it. And it did it with a shinui, and therefore it's mishuna keren. And he did it 3 times. And the shaila is, if you do, chatzi nezek tzroris, so meaning both, we're assuming right now that both the BavaKama and Rabbi Elazar hold that it's chatzi nezek tzroris. The shaila is, can it become a muad? If you do the tzroris in a meshunadik way, in a different kind of way, So, for example, if the hunt takes the coal and puts it on the pile and it gets all fired up, and it's chatzi, it's tsuris, but in a ktsat, out of the box. So then it's mishuna, and therefore it's chatzi nezek. But it's chatzi nezek because it's tsuris, but it's also mishuna. But because it's mishuna karen, what if you do it 3 times? Does it become muad? In which case it becomes nezek shalim. And now that it becomes nezek shalim, so then we do have the concept of tzad tamus b'mkoma omedes, right? Meaning, if you say that if you do this tsuris situation, which starts out as chatzi nezek because it's tsuris, but you do it in a different kind of way, so it's mishune. So then, if you do it 3 times, so Rabbi Elazar would say that it becomes a muad, and once it becomes a muad, then you would now pay nezek shalim. But tzad tamus b'mkoma omedes, and the first half of it would be paid migufo. And that's why we're saying it's migufo, even according to Rabbi Elazar, because we're talking about where it did it 3 times. So let's read it inside. From top line of Yerchesim base. Elikikam Rabbi Elazar, when Rabbi Elazar says nezek shalim, that he pays nezek shalim, kigon, for example, the iyaid, that it was it was tsroris, but it did it 3 times and also in a different kind of way. Uvahaka miflagei, and this is machlokas my savar yesh ha'adaa litzroris, that Rabbi Elazar says that it's possible to have a mu'ad when it comes to tsroris, and therefore it's going to be nezek shalem. Umar savar eina adaa litzroris. And the Tanakama says eina adaa litzroris, and it remains chatzi nezek. But Rabbi Elazar would say that it becomes nezek shalim, but the tzad tamas b'mkoma omedes, and that would be migufo. But then fact the Gemara, Elohada by Rave, but that which Rave asks, yesh ha'adah litzroris. Rava Taka asks that when it comes to tsroris, is there a concept of muad or not? Well, ilir Rabbanon eina ada litzroris. Well, according to Tanakama, according to the Rabbanon, who say that in the case that we just gave, that when it did it 3 times, eina ada, it means chatzi nezek, so they would say eina ada. Ilir Rabbi Elazar yesh ada, and Rabbi Elazar's opinion would be yesh ada, it never becomes nezek shalim. Right? Yesh ada litzroris. So what was Rava asking about, right? Meaning Rava was asking, is there adah l'tzoros or not? Well, according to Chacham, yes. According to Rabbi Elazar, no. According to Chacham, no. According to Rabbi Elazar, yes. So now things kind of get flipped on their face a little bit. If you thought that up until now was a lot to hold on to, you're holding on for dear life. Well, now things get flipped around a little bit. Up until now, we were assuming that both Rabbi Elazar and the Tanakama and the Chachamim hold that tzoros is chatzi nezek, like the Chacham, right? It's chatzi nezek tzoros. And the shaila was, if you did it in a different way, so then maybe it could be muad. Rabbi Elazar says it becomes muad, and therefore it's nezek shalim. So actually, says Rava that actually Rabbi Elazar and the Tanakama hold like sumchus, that tzoros is nezek shalim. Tzoros is nezek shalim. That tzoros is nezek shalim, like sumchus. And then so then why do the Chacham say it's chatzi nezek? Well, because it's talking about a situation of meshuna, where the hunt did it in a different kind of way. For example, he took over the coal in his hand and he put it on the fire. So because he did it in a different kind of way, the Chachamim say that it's meshuna karen, and therefore it's chatzi nezek. Whereas Rabbi Elazar says meshuna karen b'chatzar anizak nezek shalom mishalim. So again, so let's read inside. So where am I? Amalach Rava, meaning so Amalach Rava. So Rava will respond, right? Meaning Rava had asked that is there muad when it comes to tzoros or not? So we had wanted to say, well, it's a machlokas between Tanakama and Rabbi Lazar, but Rava actually says no. The machlokas between Tanakama and Rava is not based on Chatzi Nezek Tzoros. That's based on Sumchus, who says Nezek Shalim by Tzoros, and I'm asking according to the Rabbanon, who say Chatzi Nezek Tzoros. Rava says, when I'm asking if there's muad when it comes to Tzoros, Lididi Aliba de Rabbanon. I'm asking according to the rabbis who say Chatzi Nezek Tzoros, but the Pligi Ale de Sumchus, that they argue on Sumchis, who says that it's Nezek Shalim by Tzoros, but Avalacha, but the machlokas between Rabbi Lazar and the Rabbanon, Bein the Rabbi Lazar, Kisumchus Svirelu. They both hold like Sumchus, the Amr Tzoros Nezek Shalim Mishalim, who says that by Tzoros it's Taka Nezek Shalim, the time of my Amr Rabbanon Chatzi Nezek. Then why are the Rabbanon saying Chatzi Nezek? Deshani Vilo Iyayid. Because there was he did it in a different kind of way, and it was not a muad, and therefore, even though by Chatzi Nezek, even though by Tzoros it would be Nezek Shalim, but because he did it in a different kind of way, so it becomes Mishuna Karen, it becomes Chatzi Nezek. We've looked at the Reb Tarfon Rabbanon Kamiflik, the machlokas between Tanakama and Rabbi Lazar is like the machlokas between Reb Tarfon and the Rabbanon. There's so many Rabbanons going on over here. There's the Rabbanon and Sumchis, there's the Rabbanon and Rabbi Lazar, there's the Rabbanon and Reb Tarfon. Right? And therefore, Rabbi Lazar says, like Reb Tarfon, that Mishunikem b'chatzor nizak nezek shalim mishalim. And the Chachamim say, like the Chachamim, I guess, that Mishunikem b'chatzor nizak chatzi nezek mishalim. Okay, and fine. Okay, so therefore the machlokas between Rabbi Lazar and the Rabbanon, I guess, is by Mishuna Karen, and the shaila is: do you hold like the Rabbanon, that it's Chatzi Nezek, or do you hold like Reb Tarfon that it's Nezek Shalim? But both would say that it's Migufo Mishalim. But Ema de Shamas le Reb Tarfon Nezek Shalim. Nezek Shalim. Look, I'll say that Reb Tarfon says that when it comes to Mishuna Karen b'chatzor nizak, it's Nezek Shalim, but Migufo Mishamasle. Would Reb Tarfon necessarily say that Mishuna Karen b'chatzor nizak would be Migufo? Yes, because Me'echi Ma'isila Mikaren b'shus harabim. Because where are we learning out Mishuna Karen from? We're learning out from Rishus Harabim, right? That just like, right, there's Karen in Rishus Harabim, so Karen also applies to Rishus HaYachid, right, to the Chatzor HaNizak. So therefore, Dayu Lavum and Adin Lios Kanidon. And therefore, if we're learning out Karen Rishus HaNizak from Karen Rishus Harabim to say that you're Chayiv in both places, so then just like Rishus Harabim, Karen, right, Chatzi Nezek, would be Migufo. So also, B'chatzor Nizak would also be Migufo, even though it's Nezek Shalim with the Mishalim, right? Mishuna Kem B'chatzor Nizak, Nezek Shalim with Mishalim, but it would still be Migufo. For Reb Tarfon Leisle Dayo, Reb Tarfon clearly doesn't hold like Dayo Lavo Min Adin Lios Kanidon. What does Lavo Min Adin Lios Kanidon mean, by the way? There's just so much going on this daf that like, there's so many concepts that I like totally sped through that one, but that's like a thing. Dayo Lavo Min Adin Lios Kanidon means that if you're bringing a Kavah Chomer from somewhere, then it should be, then bring in everything from that place. And we're going to see on Daf Chavdal Beis that Reb Tarfon learns out Mishuna Karen in Chatzor Nizak from Rishus Harabim. So therefore, if we're learning out from Tam Rishus Harabim, so then we got to bring in all the things. So Migufa Mishalim, but also theoretically you should bring in that it's Chatzi Nezek, not Nezek Shalim. So clearly Reb Tarfon doesn't bring in the whole Kavah Chomer, because then it would be Chatzi Nezek, but he says it's Nezek Shalim. But Kileis Ledayo, Hechad de Mafrich Kavah Chomer, Hechad de Lo Mafrich Kavah Chomer is Ledayo. Look, Reb Tarfon would say Dayo Lavo Min Adin Lios Kanidon, that the place that you're learning to should be exactly like the place that when you're learning from, with regards to things that you don't have a question about them. Right? But if you have a question about them, then you can't bring that in. And we're going to see in the Mishnah Daf Chavdal Beis exactly how he learns that in. But Be'etzim, for now, let's just say that Reb Tarfon is learning out from Karen Rosh Hashanah, that just like Karen Rosh Hashanah by a short time would be migufo, so also Mishuna Karen B'Chatzar Nizak would be migufo as well, even if it's nezek shalim mishalim. Fine. Woo. My oh my. All right, friends. The last part of the Gemara should go faster. Gufa, I think, it's at least it's easier, I think. Gufa, we said earlier, Bari Rava, that Rava asked, Yesha adal tzroris or ina adal tzroris? That when it comes to tzroris, is there ha'adah? Can it become a muad or not? Do we say lekaren midaminon le? Do we say that it's like karen, in which case there is a concept of muad? Or do we tolada de regelu? Or maybe it's a tolada of regel, and there's regel is always a muad, right? It doesn't become any more muad than it already is. So Tashma Hidus ain't a mud. A chicken that's dancing around is not mud. V'yeshov marez mud. Some say Taka is mud. So Hidus Akadaitich, you think it's really talking about Hidus? Hidus is obviously regular. Of course it's mud. Ela Hidus v'hitis. No, it's talking about if it's the chicken's dancing around and kicks up epis and then it's throwerus. So the shaila is it mud or not? So my love could go into Avad Tzlasa Zimni. So let's say it's talking about where the chicken did it 3 times already. And when we say Eino Muad, so one opinion says Eino Muad, that there's no Muad when it comes to Tzoros. The other one says that there is Muad when it comes to Tzoros. Uvalkamifage, Maisava Yesha Ada, that there is Muad by Tzoros. Maisava Eina Ada. And the other man says that there's no Ha'ada, there's no Muad by Tzoros. Lo, Michad Zimna, no, it's not talking about where it did it 3 times. It's talking about where it did it 1 time, Uveflukta, the Sumchus Rabban Kamifage, it's Poshet Machlokas, Sumchus, and the rabbis say that it's going to be Chatzi Nezek, Eino Muad, and Sumchus says Muad because it's going to be Nezek Shalim. Tashma, come in here. Behema Sheitila Galolim Leisa, a animal defecated into a dough. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. So it's shtickle tzoris, right? The dung exited the animal's body and then plopped into the dough. So it's like, traveled from one place to the next. It's bets and tzoris. So Rav Yehuda Omer says, Rav Yehuda, Mishalim Nezek Shalim. It's Nezek Shalim. Rav Elazar Omer Chatzi Nezek. My love, can go into Ovid Tzalas Zimni. Let's say that it did this 3 times already. Nudnik. Uvaka Mifage, that this is the machlokas between Rav Yehuda and Rav Elazar. My Savar, Yesh Ado. So Rav Yehuda says it's Nezek Shalim because it's a muad by Tzoris. My Savar Eina Ado. Rav Elazar says it's Chatzi Nezek because there's no muad when it comes to Tzoris. Lo B'chazimna, no, it's talking about the first time. We looked at the Sumchus Rabbanon Kamiflage. And it's the machlokas between Sumchus and the Rabbanon about Rav Yehuda says that it's like Sumchus, that it's Nezek Shalim, Tzoris is Nezek Shalim, and Rabbi Elazar says like the Rabbanon that Tzoris is Chatzi Nezek. V'mishuna hu, but it's Mishuna, so why would it be Nezek Shalim? Didachik le'alma, well, if I understand correctly, he's talking about where the animal's in a very tight space and it can't really move anywhere else, and that's why I did it, so therefore it's not. And that's why it kind of defecated in the dough, I guess. And therefore it's not Mishuna, but it is Tzoris. V'lema Rav Yehuda alacha kisumchis, v'lema Rav Elazar alacha krabonim. So let Rav Yehuda say that the alacha is like sumchis. That, so simply say, Rav Yehuda says the alacha is like sumchis, that it's nezek shalim, that Tzoris is nezek shalim. And Rav Elazar says the alacha is like the Rabbanon, that Tzoris is chatzi nezek. So galalim it's tzricha, yeah, but the chiddush is by the dung. Sagadatich Amina, I may have thought hol vaser gufe gririn ki gufe dami, that since the dung basically it comes from the body and moves around with the body until it's expelled, so I might think that it's like gufe and it's always nezek shalim kamash malan. That no, it's like tzoris. Wow, I'm telling you, my brain is like it's turning to mush a little bit, but we're basically at the end over here. Tashma Kaminir, the Tani, Rami by Yechezkel, Tani go Shoshid Roshel over Klis Chuchis, a chicken that stuck his head into a glass vessel, Vitakabo, and it yells at the top of its lungs, Kakadoodle do. V'shibru, and sure enough, the vessel broke. Mishalim nezek shalim, so it's nezek shalim. So it sounds like tzroris is nezek shalim. But Rav Yosef says, Rav Yosef Ami Berab, sus shetzonaf, a horse that yelled nay, v'chomer near, and a donkey that yelled hee haw, v'shiber esakelim, and they broke vessels. Mishalim chatzi nezek. My life could go into other tlosis image. Let's talk about. Let's say that it did it 3 times. So it's talking about tzroris, and it did it 3 times. V'akamifligay. My savar yesh ado. So BavaKama says it's nezek shalim, it's because it says it's a muad. My savar eino ado, and the second brisa which says that it's chatzi nezek, says that there's no muad by tzroris lo b'chad zimna. No, it's talking about the first time who fluked to the sumchis for rabbanon kamifligay. It's machlokes in sumchis and rabbanon. The first brisa says like sumchos, the second brisa says like the rabbanon. V'ha, but isn't that weird for these things to break vessels like that by yelling? So the Izbei Bazrone know that there were seeds, there was food in the vessels, and that there were seeds in the vessels. And that's why the chicken stuck its head in to get the seeds, and then it yelled cock-a-doodle-doo, and that was the end of the vessel. Friends, woo, wow, that was Daf Yud Ches Masechta BavaKama. I don't know if this daf is over an hour. It's definitely close, but it's a lot of energy. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the daf. Like, BavaKama really requires a lot of energy. You really got to work through stuff. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Well, the first part of the machlokas of the Gemara was about, do we say basar meikara azlinon or basar b'taver mana azlinon? It seemed like it was like a little bit inconclusive there. Then we got up to the shaila of is chatzi nezek tzroris, is it migufa mishalim or me'aliyah mishalim? I think be'etzim we ended up saying that it's migufa mishalim. All right, and then we got into the kasha of is there a muad when it comes to tzroris or not? Okay, that was Daf Yud Ches of Masechta BavaKama. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.